Welcome back to History Before Us, and today we're in Pocahontas Island outside of Petersburg, Virginia with community advocate Marlo Green. We're exploring what still stands, the historic structures and spaces that hold this community's story, and talking about its past, its present, and what's next, including future plans led by local nonprofits working to preserve and grow this special place. And before we get into it, make sure you like, subscribe, and share so you don't miss more unheralded history. Let's tap in. Marlo Green.
Hello, everyone.
What's up? What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing well.
So shout out your company.
Oh, okay.
Let's start with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
OCR Community Empowerment Group.
Yeah.
It's a 501c3 located right here on Pocahontas Island. We're focused on creating, new housing, affordable housing for individuals, along with doing some cultural work through our candlelight concerts and just other initiatives to bring folks back into the island.
Yeah, and it's great work that she's doing, y'all. Again, the tours are going to be starting, it looks like.
Yes.
And I was on the inaugural
Yes, you were.
tour, which was great. And then you have another event that's going to be coming up here soon.
Yeah, so on December 4th, we're telling the story of the Jared House using candlelight and music. We're actually going to be using Whitney Houston to tell that story. Yep. I have a storyteller who has their own narrative, and they kind of just walk us through the story of Pocahontas Island. So it'll be very interesting.
Yep. Now, hopefully this episode is edited by then. It may not be, but if not, y'all still know the work she's doing, right?
Yes.
But we're going to be starting off here at Pocahontas Chapel, and it says original site here is 1866. So the building isn't original, however, the site is original.
The site is original. In 1993, this property was actually destroyed, and some Amish individuals, along with some folks from the city, came out and helped the community rebuild the structure.
Okay.
So like I said, in 1866, the Freedmen Bureau actually gave this property to Lucy Ann Fisher, who was living on Pocahontas Island, kind of kept the congregation together. The individuals of color would actually come here to study and then also learn about religion and things like that.
Okay. And if you look at the sign over here, you all, it says established in 1800, served as a black school until 1871.
Yep.
And Grant's headquarters during the Civil War, right? So that's how historic this building is. There's also Civil War history that's here as well.
Yep.
And it looks like right here, there is something that identifies, materials donated by the people of Pocahontas and their friends. I can't read what that says.
Isaac Brown.
Yeah, okay, is that Isaac Brown?
Yeah.
Isaac Brown and Thomas
Pryor.
February 16th, 1942. So as it relates to this, still being one of the functioning institutions, is it still a church that people attend?
Yes, actually the pastor just pulled up with her daughter.
Okay, cool.
And so they hold service on Sundays. I feel like it's about 9 a.m.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've attended, but they still have church service here every Sunday.
And how important is that in these communities that people don't actually have to leave and they can stay vested into their community by having institutions still in the community?
Yeah, I mean, for one, we have an elderly population of individuals, so having to commute outside of the neighborhood would be a little challenge for some folks.
Yeah.
And so just being able to walk over here and enjoy church service is important. It kind of brings the community together, keeps their camaraderie going, keep the relationships together.
Sure.
Yeah.
So if we can walk down here, the name Pocahontas Island, how does this come into fruition?
Well, this was originally called Whittentown in 1749. That's the map that I have. And it was named after a gentleman by the last name of Whitten. So he actually wrote up that plat for Whittentown. And in 1752 is when it switched over to Pocahontas Island. Mm-hmm. There was some influence, obviously, from Native American history and culture, obviously Pocahontas herself. Yep. There used to be a water basin located here on the island that some say Pocahontas actually bathed in at some point. That's kind of like the myth.
The lore.
Yeah, the lore, of Pocahontas Island. But that basin is no longer located over here. They actually moved it to Poplar Park back in the early 1900s to preserve it. So they displaced it from its original location and preserved it somewhere else. So we're going to be advocating soon to ask for that to come back.
Yeah, bring that back.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Stewart was the mayor, if you will, of Pocahontas Island. Give us the rundown on what he meant to the community, and I think you mentioned he passed in 2023.
Yeah. So
and that loss.
Yeah, well, I mean, Richard started the Black History Museum, which we're coming up on now, back in 2003. And I mean, what he did over the years was just accumulate all sorts of artifacts and things and kind of put them in the museum. And he was one of those people you could just pull up on him and ask him about history. He'd give you a tour, show you the documentary we had for Pocahontas Island.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, he was instrumental in keeping focus on Pocahontas Island. I mean, that's the only reason why I found out about Pocahontas Island was because of him.
Yeah.
And his passing, it's been a challenge, right? Trying to keep us, keeping the community informed and, keeping us in front of city council as often as possible, because he went to all of the city council meetings. And so now I've kind of stepped into those shoes a bit, like attending all the meetings and telling them about what's going on Pocahontas Island. So it was a tremendous loss to the neighborhood. But as a community, we're resilient, and so we're coming back together to kind of work on those things together.
That's what's up. And I've seen this every time I stop, on my way back from Richmond or what have you. I've seen this numerous times or what have you, and that's the sign right there. It used to be more clear where it says Pocahontas, something Black community. I can't remember what it says, Otis Black community or what have you. But we don't know exactly what the background is for this home, correct?
I do not. I think there just hasn't been enough research completed on the various properties on Pocahontas Island, but this is one that's on the list to be looked at.
Yeah.
But you can definitely tell it's a historic property.
Oh, for sure,
right?
For sure. Somebody got to come out and
they have an old school outhouse here.
Yeah.
But this is another one of the properties owned by Mr. Stewart as well. This property here, the museum, the parcel of land here.
And what was known in the community as the Underground Railroad House was across the street.
Right across the street, 21315 Whitney Street was actually what people say is the Underground Railroad House. There was an archaeological study done back in 2006 where they uncovered some items that they believe to be traced to the Underground Railroad. So, but this house was demolished. God, I can't remember the exact year, but the city had, kept sending code compliance notices to this individual, and she couldn't really afford to keep it up. So she just demolished it. So things like that happen. But we still have the archaeological studies to look to kind of document its presence.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it always makes me wonder whenever there was one home, you had to most likely have others as well. So what were potential other locations here on Pocahontas Island that also may have been influential on the Underground Railroad?
Well, definitely the river, the Appomattox River. The river is on, the harbor front is on this side. It's very shallow on this side. However, in 1915, there was a diversion channel which placed all the water on the other side. But you could definitely believe that individuals trying to escape towards freedom was going to use the waterway to get out. Yeah.
And we learned that on the tour, too.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. And so this is the museum.
Yes, this is the Black History Museum. You would normally see Richard sitting here just waiting on people to come by and want to do the tour. He has so many artifacts in this museum, it's ridiculous. He has slave shackles in there.
Wow.
It's just a number of pieces, photographs, and just all types of documentation throughout history. So hoping the family will eventually, I know we were told that she would actually allow people to come in and take a look at some stuff, and maybe some folks from the island be able to take some items. But I really wanted to be able to get with her to put those items potentially in the Jarrett House when we rehab that. So that's the goal. Yeah,
and we'll be checking out the Jarrett House here in just one second.
Yeah.
For you, being able to come up and sit on this porch, I mean, run through the emotions and the memories.
Well, the first time I met Richard was right here in front of this house. And I had told him I was going to build a house over here. He was like, yeah, whatever. And so, I didn't do the tour that day. I just kind of told him what I wanted to do. I wanted to purchase some property from him, and he wasn't willing to sell me anything. So, found some property, bought it from the city of Petersburg, came back to him, said, sir, I'm actually going to do a groundbreaking now. And so at that point, he believed me and said he was proud. So that same day, my mom, myself, and Richard, we did a tour of the entire property. And he just kind of walked us through, showed us all the different rooms. When I tell you, every room is full of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, like jam-packed, you can barely walk around. And so, we were able to do that tour. We sat with him for hours. We even ate lunch together. It was a really great experience. And, he has this cellar, kind of like a cellar in the back of the house where he has this documentary that was done on Pocahontas Island. He would share that with individuals, let you watch it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was almost like I tell people, it's like a proud dad moment when he said he was proud of the development that I was doing here, because I wanted his blessing and I wanted the blessing of the community. So before I even built my house, I kind of knocked on everybody's doors to show them what I was going to build and whatnot, and make sure they kind of were on par, on board with what I was doing. So, yeah, we're gonna miss Richard. Like I said, his videos are still out there. I still watch them, when I need that motivation.
Yeah.
When things getting a little rough, But yeah, I mean, really hoping to see that we could do something either with the structure or taking these items out and put them somewhere else so that we can continue that legacy.
Yeah, and you had mentioned the Jarrett House, so let's make our way over there.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
The Jarrett House is built in 1819, between 1819 and 1820, by John Wilder. He was a white merchant, held the property for a significant amount of time. It passed hands several times with other white individuals, and at some point it ends up in 1853 in the hands of Lavinia Sampson. She was actually a Native American woman who was documented in the Free Negro registers as mulatto. That speaks to, how in history, Native Americans couldn't really be themselves, so to speak, right? They just kind of got lumped in with black folk. But yeah, the Jarrett House here is an antebellum structure. Like I said, over, 200 years old, brick structure, very well put together. The Jarrett family actually purchased this structure in 1879 from Lavinia's estate.
And the Jarrett family are a family of African descent?
Yes, a freed African-American family.
Wow.
Richard Jarrett was the first individual that owned property on Pocahontas Island. He didn't live here or own this property, but his son, John Jarrett, actually purchased this property in 1879, and they held it in the family for 112 years.
Wow.
1991, they give it to the city of Petersburg. 1993, tornado happens, rips the roof off, and tore the back end down. So this house used to be propped up with pieces of wood holding the back end up.
Yeah.
And at some point, the city of Petersburg found some resources and actually came in and put a new roof on and did some shoring up to the rest of the structure. So it's more stable now, but now the next step is to get it to being used,
For
right?
sure. I mean, because it's the structure that when people do come here, that stands out.
Yes, exactly.
It's the only brick structure
it's the only brick structure on Pocahontas Island. And like I said, it's just one of the older structures in the city of Petersburg in general. So there should be more work done here. We don't even have a historic marker or a plaque or anything for this property. So that is the goal, is to start this fundraising. Hence the reason for the Candlelight Concert. It's about the Jarrett House.
For sure.
Yeah.
And, obviously when people hear the word Pocahontas, they automatically think indigenous, right?
Yeah.
And so here on this island, what we've come to know is that there were indigenous women that were coming here to Pocahontas Island, and they were having children with black men.
Yes.
Because this was a free people of color, free black folks were living here on Pocahontas Island.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And so there is substantial evidence of course, this being a multiracial community dating back to the 1700s.
1700s for sure. And even before that, like 3,000 years before that, Indian occupation during that time frame. There was an archaeological dig done here as well, and they found all types of artifacts. They believe some of the items that were found look like slave quarter pieces and things like that. I don't have any documentation that proves that it was actually used as a slave quarter.
Right.
But some of the things that they found, some of the ways that the house was built, they believe they kind of trace that to slave quarters. But yeah, Lavinia's family owned this house for a significant period of time. I mean, just to see a Native American woman move to Petersburg, to just gain her own freedom and have her own funds, right? She had roughly $3,000, I mean, which is significant. I think she inherited that money. She was able to acquire this and some other properties over here on the island.
Yeah, and if we look right here with some of the wall art, if you will, it says the Jarrett House and
you see, she's
1819, 1820.
Lavinia Sampson.
Yep, there we go. So if she has any descendants, do we know if she had any kids?
She did have children.
She did, okay.
Yeah.
So
she's actually buried, I want to say Ohio, sticking out to me for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, she moved when she fell ill for a little bit.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
So this right here, and again, if you come through Pocahontas Island, this is definitely a building that you have seen. It's not a very large island, if you will, and so you had to have seen this. And so the goal for you for this building would be to
So I really love to see this building as a museum or some sort of gathering space for the city at large, for us to come in here and kind of learn about history, maybe utilizing the historic Petersburg Foundation to tell more African American stories in this building. So like where we start is first for a community organized event to determine what's the best use for this structure, whether that be museum or some event space, whatever that looks like. And then from there, acquiring the cost estimates that are necessary to actually put it into place, right, that plan into play. So that's kind of where we are with this thing, looking to bring in funding for the community engagement piece, which should be done citywide. And then from there, getting the cost estimates done based on whatever we select to then actually just redo the building. Yeah.
And I'm assuming that from a tourism standpoint as well, that this, once up and running, would provide a boost in that for the community. For sure.
I think working with the tourism department to get people over here. People are already enjoying some of the tours we've been doing. We've done walking tours, so this will definitely be a stop along whatever tour there is going on in Petersburg. This should definitely be a stop. Like I said, it's one of the oldest properties in Petersburg.
For sure.
Yeah.
Let's keep it moving.
Yeah. The other thing I always point out to people when they come to Pocahontas Island is we're within like a mile walk of downtown Petersburg. And right before us is a road, Logan Street, that's not paved, with homes on it. And to me, that bothers me quite a bit.
Yeah. Oh, he's coming this way. Yeah. Okay. Because this is a city-owned road,
not paved.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the treatment plant here, over $20 million in unrestricted reserve. Can we not get someone just to come and pave this little section here, It's unbelievable. If it did get paved, I would love to recommend that it be called Stewart's Way right here.
For sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, should I mention the house?
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
All right, so back in 2023, as I had mentioned that I had met with Richard Stewart and finally got his blessing on building this structure here. Mm-hmm. And so the goal for this land, I purchased about an acre for $16K from the city. My first big development agreement. And so the goal is to build about 5 homes here, probably 3 more facing this way, and potentially 1, maybe 2 if we could squeeze it on this side facing this house here. Definitely need the road paved to do that too.
Gotta have the road paved. Yeah.
And so, looking to bring folks here with middle incomes, moderate incomes, probably 100% AMI, adjusted income, and create some generational wealth in their families, pass this along. Because one of the things I've observed in Pocahontas Island is a lot of people have been holding on to land for significant periods of time, and it doesn't really help the community. I'm glad they did it, and I know why, but at this point we need to pass that down to the next generation.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But it's a very quiet community.
Yeah.
I mean, I lived in Petersburg since 2016, and I had never found a community this quiet. Like
yeah,
my
it
street
is
was
very
just crazy.
quiet.
Yeah. And it's very family oriented. In August, they usually have like a Pocahontas Island reunion. Mm-hmm. Bring families out.
How far do people come from?
Jeez, man, all over. I haven't met everybody, man, but people just live all over Philadelphia, just different states. Family members just coming down to see, folks in their family and kind of enjoy that camaraderie. But like this park here is called the Rotary Park, which was put together by the Petersburg Rotary some years ago. Mm-hmm. They put the sign here, and then they bought some rocks. I forgot. So
you forgot to move them?
Yeah. Oh so the goal is to get all these rocks and take them down there, so that way to fill in the parking lot. Right now.
Why are we just dumping rocks?
I don't know. I don't know what the true plan was at the time. It just didn't get finished, obviously, right?
Clearly.
But I mean, like I said, the river's here.
Yeah, and when we talked about the river, you all, when we were on a tour discussing individuals that would escape the institution of enslavement in this area, they would utilize the river.
Definitely using the waterways to get out,
And so this could potentially be a site, very highly likely, where freedom seekers took the liberty upon themselves to escape the institution of enslavement.
Yes,
right here
definitely.
At Pocahontas Island.
Definitely, that was the sure way to get out of slavery, right? To get on a boat and keep moving, and that's the quickest way to travel. Mm-hmm. So we definitely had, has to be some record of, individuals escaping to freedom using the waterways.
Gotcha. Yeah. Now over there, there's another, what is that up top?
All right, so there's signage up there where it kind of speaks to the diversion channel I mentioned, the 1950 change, where it kind of rerouted all the water on this side versus the other side.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can't remember the reason behind that, but hence the reason why the water's here, though.
Gotcha. Now, does this ever flood?
No, it gets pretty high, but it doesn't necessarily flood. I mean, it would take a significant amount of rain. A lot of people ask me about, okay, what about the houses? Do you need flood insurance? No. Because if you go to the back of my lot, it's like this drop off, right? And I'm able to take a significant amount of rain to really flood on my street. So yeah. But I mean, this walkway sometimes does get a little bit soggy when you're walking through. Not necessarily from the river, just the drainage systems aren't really in play here. You know? Like I said, just look how close we are to this beauty,
it's
right?
Beautiful.
We should be doing sound baths out here. That's something I want to bring to the area, on the water with kayaks and whatnot, and really build out what Folar's doing with traveling around by kayak. I had a proposal currently with the city to bring a kayak kiosk here.
Man.
So that's going to be phenomenal if I can get that. Yeah. So I'm really excited. Trying to figure out ways to generate revenue, put back in the neighborhood.
Well, that's the only way we're able to keep them, right?
Exactly.
And obviously, you know, as you all see, a lot of the leaves have fell because, you know, we're getting closer to winter. But I can only imagine how beautiful it is.
Oh my goodness, man.
Everything's full
Look,
bloom.
I'm one of those people. I have a friend that's a tree hugger. I'm a tree hugger sometimes.
I hug one every now and then too.
Yeah, I mean, but one of the things, my issues about this area is when you're coming down the street, these trees, when they're full, you can't even see the water.
Yeah.
You need people to see the water so they know it's here, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things I've been working towards. Like you see here, we marked the number of trees for removal, trying to get the city support to actually remove them. These are invasive species.
Okay.
Yeah, Folar actually was instrumental in helping with this engagement here, marking the trees. So in time, we hope that some of these with these markers on them are actually removed.
Okay.
Yeah, so it kind of looks a lot better and it's not killing off the native plants.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So we're heading up to Mr. Stewart's house.
Yes, sir. Richard Stewart's house.
Let's do it.
So here is Richard Stewart's house. He lived here, man, like probably 40 years or something. Because he actually grew up on Pocahontas Island. He went away to the military for a while and then came back and just started buying properties over here on the island. Several properties, significant parcels of land are owned by Mr. Stewart. But he was actually found sitting on his couch when he passed away. Like, to me, that's a heck of a way to go, right? You're not in the hospital. You're in your own home sitting on your couch. So in my mind, I always feel like he was pleased with the new development. But I mean, who knows what took place.
Yeah.
But as you see here, Black History Museum on his license plate.
Yep.
He was all about it.
The museum, he was all about it.
Yeah.
For sure.
And like I also mentioned, the Stewart's Drive on the tour.
Oh, yeah.
I would love for
that
Logan
needs to be
Street.
an official street.
Yeah, I would love for Logan Street, that little portion I showed you, to become Stewart's Way. I just think that would be so perfect.
Yeah, it needs to become an official street. He's done too much.
He's done way too much, man.
Even now, spiritually.
Exactly.
And so this was one of the homes. And you said he owned the green one as well, right?
Yeah, he owned that one too.
Well,
and the land, all the way to the entrance of us going into the park, he owned that as well.
Okay.
So like I said, he bought a significant amount of property. I would say maybe I'd give him 75% of the island is owned by him.
Good God almighty.
Yeah.
Now this house, this is always interesting to me whenever I would pass by, because I would always see the flag.
Yeah, and the writing.
And then the writing everywhere. So let's look at some of this writing. All right. Home of the Underground Railroad, Pocahontas Island, as you all see right there. Hopefully, maybe it's not as pronounced. Let me see here. Land of slaves without a master. It's right there on that window. Let me straighten this out. Window sill. Pocahontas Island, right there. So it says, okay, so 1634, Pocahontas, Henrico County established, 1634, and then 1752, Chesterfield County, and then Dinwiddie County, 1784?
I don't know about the 1784, but 1752 sounds about right, because it was Whittentown, 1749. And at that point, it was a part of Chesterfield County. The city of Petersburg wasn't established until some years later, if I recall correctly.
Okay.
But yeah. So.
Yeah.
But like I said, it'd be awesome to get some young kids from Virginia State out here, and we just kind of write down everything we see and fact check it, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He has the door of no return up here, and we know that to be connected to Africa. Door of no return, right there. And then other writings on the wall. On the wood, rather.
Yeah.
And it looks like some offerings that were left right here. Okay.
Yeah, he used to have the sign right out front. I can't remember what was on it. It was somebody's birth date on this thing. Somebody's name and birth date, like right here in the front. I guess, it must have fell over at some point and moved it up here. But yeah, a lot of these homes need a significant amount of work.
Yeah.
You know, you can pretty much just see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs
holes up.
Yeah. But I mean, one of the things I can say is that the city did not pressure these, you know, Richard as much as they have other people.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it's because he, you know, was always advocating. But
He was who he was.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Good stuff. Shout out to you, Mr. Richard Stewart. Your work did not go unnoticed, brother. And I don't know what this giddy up is. There's an anchor that's there.
It's definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is a boatman community.
Yeah, that's true.
Richard Jarrett, who, like I said, he didn't own the Jarrett house, but he lived on Pocahontas Island. I think actually my lot might be the lot that he purchased, but I'm not 100% sure of that. But Richard Jarrett, I mean, he was a boatman. He had the boat called the Jolly Sailor. Like, can you imagine a black freed man in the 1800s owning a boat?
Yeah.
You know? It's
Jolly Sailor. That's what's up.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Next location.
All right, well.
Well, we're almost done.
Yeah, we're pretty much done. I mean, we got the Roper site. You want to get a little bit of that?
Yeah, let's do it.
One of the things I try to do in the newsletter is kind of give information about grants that are available to help people with their homes, or any like tax incentives that can help them out as elderly individuals, just so they have access to information, because sometimes that's our issue. We don't know what's out there, right? So that's a section in my newsletter I call Knowledge is Power,
Yeah.
where we either tell a history lesson or we tell you about funding that exists that you could potentially apply for.
Okay.
But
So no one can say that they don't know.
There you go. So this site here is the Roper Lumber site, originally opened in 1909. You can see downtown Petersburg right here.
You sure can.
They can see us too.
Yeah.
But they just started like knocking down these buildings over the last 6 months, less than 6 months actually. The city received about $2 million in funding from the federal government to kind of just, most of the work is going to be done in the floodplain on this site, which is straight in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
And so they've been like demolishing the buildings. When I tell you it was an eyesore, complete eyesore. All of this would have vinery, like vines on them and whatnot. It just looked like forgotten about, right?
Yeah.
And so I was so excited to see that they finally got that funding so they can kind of beautify this space. It's going to become a green space.
Okay.
For concerts, potentially a trail. So my goal is to make sure that whatever happens with this site, it connects to the Appomattox River Trail.
And just the narrative of this community in general, I'm sure.
Yes, of course, man. And so we're just looking forward to see what they're going to do next. I believe Jones Paving, he's been doing most of the demolishing work over here, and he's been very helpful too in allowing, like, he came by the trail and knocked down some trees and things for us. So he's been helping out.
That's what's up.
Less money than the treatment plant.
There you go. And this is the sign that folks see when they come in.
Yep.
Now, I had posted a picture of me being in front of the sign.
Yep.
And you know, people are territorial about first.
Yeah.
You know, or oldest, rather. So, you know, I had folks from Mississippi, Florida, boom, 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 boom. We're the boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just, you know,
I just say
it's
we're
funny.
one of the oldest, okay? We can all coexist.
That's what I say.
We're just trying to remember our history, man. That's it. Like, all that other stuff is irrelevant, man.
It is. But this is the sign that people normally see when they come in. And you had mentioned that you all are working on getting it upfit.
Yeah, here's the thing. We want to relocate the said sign because if you don't come down the street, you don't know it exists.
This is true.
So I want it like in a position, get a city right away to put it closer to the front. So whatever entrance you come in, you see the sign.
Okay.
That has to happen. It's something that's a little more robust.
Yeah. Okay.
But it'll do for right now. I mean, Richard and some other individuals put this up some years ago.
Yeah.
And so we just want to revamp it and relocate it a little bit.
That's what's up. I love it.
So one of the other things that I would like to see out here, though, as it relates to Delta Oil, I wrote him a letter some months ago, well, actually several times. And what I was asking him to do, I reached out to, what is it called? The Environmental Protection Agency of the state of Virginia. And I asked them whether these oil tanks were in use, and they said no. So I'm like, well, can we paint them? Mm-hmm. I mean, because if you look at them, the first thing you see when you drive into this neighborhood are rusted oil tanks. Yeah,
they're rusted oil tanks.
I mean, that's unbelievable, you know? And so that's one of the things that I would like to see happen, working with Delta Oil, getting maybe some CDBG, community block grant money, put a mural of some sort on them.
Yeah.
So that's another goal here.
Getting a local artist to
Yes, of course, man. Yes.
Yeah.
So
and there's so many lots that are here. You know, I can see a community garden easily, right?
Definitely. Definitely at the Rotary Park, I would think. like right up in there. And like I said, most of this other land, we need houses here.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say
We
too.
need families.
Yeah.
With children, you know, and people who are willing to advocate to city council about the importance of this neighborhood. So, you know, calling all African Americans to come invest in Pocahontas Island so you could be our neighbors, you know, like Mr. Rogers.
Now, was it a larger landmass at some point in time, and, you know, it had to shrink due to eminent domain or anything like that here on the island?
Not that I'm aware of. It's just mainly been industrial encroachment. I mean, 23 acres exists back here at the Roper site. That could be a housing subdivision.
For sure. A couple of them.
I mean, and here's the thing. There's some flooding, light flooding issues. FEMA has it documented on their maps. But you need to do a study on that, right? FEMA's just going off of historical data. They don't actually come out here and look, you know? But, you know, now they have a plan for the 23 acres. Won't be a subdivision.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
It is what it is, for sure. Well, I tell you, this has been great. Again, like I said, anytime I'm coming back from Richmond or if I stop here in Petersburg, I always stop here in this community. And so, you know, to be able to talk with someone who's doing such great work in the community and can talk about and tell the narrative of this community historically, as well as things that are happening presently, as well as the way in which you see things going in the future, is definitely a privilege. For individuals that are tourists that are coming to Petersburg, to all the other Civil War sites and things like that, or making their way to Richmond, obviously you all are right around the corner, make the case for them to come to Pocahontas Island.
Well, you probably never heard of us, for one, okay? So that's the reason why you should come regardless. You know, this history has been hidden for so long. Two, I mean, it's free Black folks that were here, right? Even like history 3,000 years ago with Native Americans being present on the island. I think it's just so much history, and I can feel the power of my ancestors. I always tell my friends that, and they think I'm crazy, but I mean, I really feel it by living here. And I think just coming to just view just the history, coming to see the trail, coming to see the industrial encroachment in our neighborhoods, and just kind of like really tapping into that. I think for the right people, it's going to ignite a fire in you, and you're going to want to advocate everywhere you go. For sure. And so I think that's why more Black people need to come over here to Pocahontas Island, or just people in general, come do the tour, which is on our website, OCRCEG.org. That's how you can find us. But yeah, the more people we have to come expose other individuals, it's going to be most ideal.
Yeah, for sure. And like I always say at the end of these things, thank you for tuning in. I greatly appreciate you. If this type of history resonates with you, if you learned something new and you would like to learn more, please make sure to subscribe, share, and continue or consider becoming a member. Peace and blessings.